Welcome back, everyone, to Merge Conflict, your weekly developer podcast, live from CES Las Vegas.
Woo! Do you see all the flashing? No, James, we don't have the budget for that. Are you kidding me? We don't do ads anymore. We can't go to the Consumer Electronics surprise event without ads and sponsorships and at least like 6 suitcases worth of camera lenses.
That means we need your support. We need your support. Patreon.com/@mergeconflictfm. Support us. Give us the monies. Get the podcasts earlier. No, CES. I want to talk, before we talk about CES, I have an important topic to discuss, Frank. And I want to know if I'm right or if I'm wrong.
Or super right? Okay.
So there's a new hot thing. There are some at the CES Electronic Show, but there's some of these already out, which is the Mac Mini M4 dock. Okay. There's a few of these that have been out in the market. There's one that kind of like sits on top, so there's like a gap underneath it. Now, apparently that one has a problem because it's metal on the base, and then the Wi-Fi doesn't work anymore. There's another one that like kind of has like, I don't know. It kind of like holds it like this, and there's kind of like blades that come out, so it kind of is there. Mm-hmm. And then there's the Satechi one, which is the one that was very, very popular for the Mac Mini previous models, the M2 models. Sits very flush, very on there. Okay. Now, I would like a dock for my Mac Mini. Now, these docks are cool because they do have NAND, like the NVMe memory. Like you can extend, you know the hard drive. You can extend the hard drive, right? Yes. You know what I'm talking about. So you put that in there. Thunderbolt 5, 4, whatever. Yeah. You get the hard drive. So that's kind of cool that it's underneath there. That's nice. Now, all of these devices, do the Thunderbolt out, one cable out the back. So that's kind of nice connecting to it. But
just one? Okay.
Just one cable there.
Because there's multiple Thunderbolt channels on this puppy. It'd be nice to use all of them. Yeah. Anyway.
You would want it to like connect to all 3 of them somehow?
Oh yeah. I want the parallelism, man. A concurrency.
Oh, so you could plug in multiple and then give you more outs.
Yeah. All of these, they are blurring the line between serial and parallel. But they are technically serial protocols.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
universal. Serial, whatever.
why hog one port where you have multiple ports? Yeah. So that's a good counter argument. First is like they inherently are just doing that, which means that it limits the amount of ports that they can put on this thing. Now, here's my problem. I actually do not want any more ports on the front of it. So all of these devices, you dock it, and they put a bunch of USB-A and like maybe one USB-C on the front. I don't need that. I don't want any. You know what I want? A bunch on the back. I don't want a bunch of dongles out the front of my machine, right? Maybe give me one USB-C or something like that. But I don't need this ugly bar of a bunch of USB-A and memory card things. Like, I don't need that. I want them all in the back.
You want, in the server world, what they call the back plane. Yes. You don't want it up front. You just want cool LEDs up front with cool numbers registering things. The back plane is where you put all the nonsense, all the cords and all the wires and everything. Yes. So yeah, that's a great idea. Sorry, you're just going to have to buy a USB-C hub and pull it behind. Like I think the problem you're having is you want the form factor, right? Like the Mac Mini is so small, you're like, well, I can put a case on my case. It's a little core object, and I can wrap it up. I could put it in a flower pot. I could make it a chia pet. I could do all sorts of things. I think you gave me some 3D. Something to 3D print. I forget what. Was this like one of the cute cases or something? But I feel like you could probably 3D print a little case for this little guy that would integrate a nice USB-C hub or a Thunderbolt hub or something like that. But I get you the integration. That's what you want. You want the cleanliness of the integration. Yeah.
I just want it to be clean. I want the front, I want the front of my devices to be super clean. And then the back, is where all the cables and all my cord management is in the back, not in the front. And I mean, I don't know how many things I'm plugging into the front of my device, but if I'm plugging in 6 different devices in the front of my device, and I've done something wrong in general. I'm just saying.
I guess, I have two 10-port USB-A hubs, and like I do a lot of electronics, and they are stuck in the early 2000s state. Like it's all micro USB and USB-A. So although I love rocking the USB-C lifestyle, especially watching all the CES stuff, I still live in the past, man. I still have to operate in the past.
Well, I just told you I'm giving this new AudioBox Go little audio interface a try, and that's what I'm using today. So if my audio sounds a little bit different, it shouldn't, because it should just be an audio interface and it should just work. But if it does, I'll be interested. Let me know on YouTube or in the show notes or whatever. But I was excited because it was USB-C and out the back, whereas my old
Very much.
Behringer is like a USB A. It's like the printer port.
It's the chunky boy. I think it's USB B.
Yeah, B or something like that, which is totally fine. But it's also really big, and I got a new sort of desk setup thing. So I wanted this to be snug underneath and really nice. And this one's cool because the XLR goes out the back. And that's my key. It's like XLR out the back instead of out the front, which is really nice for podcasting. So anyways, I got it today, and it's USB-C to USB-A to your computer. And I was like, no, I don't want that. So what does that mean? I got to go buy USB-C to USB-C cables. That is rude.
As in, they just didn't give you a USB-C to USB-C cable? Like, because I imagine the plug on
just
it is just...
It's a USB-C out the back, but the cable they gave me was a USB-C to USB-A cable.
That's funny. That's just
which means
punchline. They just had too many in the warehouse.
It's like for this, exactly. Yes, exactly. For this to work right now, this is going USB-C into a USB-C adapter into my Mac Mini into the front of it.
Where's your box of cables? You don't have a box of cables that has a USB-C to C?
I've been so I have like one really nice one, but that's for my keyboard. And then I'm diving. I was like, I have to have one. I can't find one, Frank. I can't find it. So, but there's some more boxes I need to go through.
More products.
More product. Yeah. Well,
everything seems to come with terrible ones now.
Yeah. Well, I just bought some Anchor ones. They'll come in a week, et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, CES, Jensen Huang kicks off the day. So many GPUs, many Blackwells. They showed off I think a supercomputer that's smaller than this audio interface. I think it's 1/8 the size of a Mac Mini. That is 1,000 times faster than a Mac Mini.
Did they now? I don't remember that part. I think you are exaggerating, or they are exaggerating. Someone's exaggerating. What I saw was the lineup of humanoid robots. I was like, wow, okay. So I think Terminator's happening pretty soon, seems.
Well, there's one thing that we can be for sure is that now our self-vacuuming robots have arms now, and they can pick up our socks. So that is something.
It's so silly.
Step 1, pick up socks.
Can I and I hope this doesn't limit my future job opportunities, but as a roboticist, I like to build bad robots. None of mine are good. But as someone who likes to build things, humanoid robots are silly. Why are we working? We don't need humanoid. We need things with wheels that can lift things and like do real stuff. Bipedal motion is great for humanity, but our robots don't need to be bipedal. Anyway, they're super cool. I just wanted to put that out there.
Well,
I roll my eyes every time. Like, they're super fun to work on. I get it. I want to build a Gundam too, but no.
I feel like the trend this year, I've seen a few trends, and the first trend I've seen is, hey, we've really figured out how to map houses, like inside of the houses with robo vacuums, right? Like iRobots.
You think so? You think it's solved?
So that I think it's mostly solved, but what they're doing now is they're like, we've done like 99%, 95%, 98%. Now we can add things on top of it, right? So now there's that robot arm from RoboVac or whatever. And then SwitchBot has one that it has attachable tops to it, so you can attach a air purifier or a humidifier or a tablet stand or
an R2D2 body.
Exactly. Yeah. Basically, there's a holder mode where you can it'll like serve you drinks. So like you could be like, oh, go over there, because it can map. The lidars are good enough that it knows how to map your house and get around. Enough, it thinks. So that's the first trend I'm seeing, at least from talking about robots, right? Is like, we already have robots in the house. We already have robots in the house. And now they're trying to smartify and robotize them with arms and stuff.
I do like that we're finally starting to live in the future. I was just going through an airport and there was a big R2D2 robot vacuuming the floor. So I was like, okay, I know Roombas have been around forever, but like, it's nice to see one in an airport that no one's kicking or messing with or anything.
That's true.
So those are super cool. You saw a way better Roomba than I did. The one I saw had a manual vacuum you can pull out of it. I'm like, no, you are missing the point of robotics. The point is I don't have to do anything. Wrong direction. And then I also saw a new Roomba lawnmower, which is the last robot I built. I made a little lawnmower bot thing. And so theirs was much more refined than mine, but my wheels are bigger. So, just going to say my wheels are bigger.
What else? What other trends are you seeing? I got a few on the top of my list. Like, as you've kind of been, we're just recording on a Tuesday, so CES is just starting. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. No, I want to get back to NVIDIA because I actually do have opinions. But first, I want to say this is the year of Furby. This is the year Furby comes back. Furby, do you remember Furby?
I remember Furby. I thought Furby came back already.
Big-eyed plushy toy that just said inane gibberish, and people liked because it had big eyes and it vaguely responded to you. Well, you know what you do now? You get a plushie, you put big eyes on it, and you put ChatGPT behind it. And there are so many of these things at CES, and the size of the eyes differ, the count of the eyes differ, but they're all just plushies hooked up to an AI, and some of them are articulated, some are just bouncy, some have screens, some have cameras. But it's the year of Furby. It's the year of we don't really know what to do with AI, like in the fun world. Like entertainment hasn't fully figured out what to do with AI. But this is the year everyone's just like, well, what if we just put it in a toy and give it big eyes and see what happens? So for $300, you can have a 2025 Furby, and it's kind of a robot. Kind of not. They keep calling them robots, not robots. They don't do anything.
With a monthly subscription, I am sure.
Of course,
AI ain't free. I think that that is another trend too. I know we were talking about NVIDIA, but like I do think that we talked about in the year review, like the year of AI, and you and I have been doing even more AI stuff, and I've been doing a lot more AI stuff at work and coding stuff, and I'm really excited to get deeper down that. It takes me some time, Frank. I'm a manager. It takes me some time to get caught up.
It's cool.
I do think that it is more of a year of AI being infused in so many more things. Like it does feel like this is the year that AI is really getting infused into TVs. Much more so, like there's Copilot directly in LG TVs. You can now go in and ChatGPT or whatever will scan the scene. It'll tell you all the information, what closes. Samsung has it. So if you see a meal like on YouTube or you're watching a movie, it will figure out what the item is and then give you a recipe. And then on top of that, if you have a Samsung fridge, it will scan your fridge, figure out what's in it, place an order, and Instacart will deliver it to your door. I'm pretty sure. Like that is
classic demo.
Crazy.
They've been trying to do these scan what's in your refrigerator since I was a wee lad.
Not how I organize my fridge, people. Chaos.
You'll never recognize what's in there. And I use
how many cameras would they have to have inside the fridge? You know when you get into a Tesla,
I use containers that are not all transparent. How's it going to know what's in that container?
Oh, X-ray vision, man. X-ray. That's what it is. You know when you get into a Tesla,
X-ray vision. Yeah, great.
You get into a Tesla and you're like, wow, there's a lot of cameras pointed at me right now. Like imagine how many cameras are pointed at your milk. Inappropriate.
Inappropriate is right. I love it. I thought I was overwhelmed by the AI because it's the buzzword of God. It seems like the decade now. Apologies to everyone, but I don't think I was overwhelmed. I think I'm just getting used to it. It's just a new word.
Oh, I'm not
It's like
overwhelmed.
web.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the new dub whatever.
Yeah. It makes
Um,
sense. Like, I do think that some of the stuff makes sense in general. Is like, here it is. It's
yeah.
in more places. I saw, for example, now also on LG TVs, I think the Xbox app is there, so you can just like stream games to your Xbox. These TVs are super smart. I like a dumb TV. I'm a big fan of a dumb TV. I'll put a smart device on it,
What
but I'm not the average consumer that wants their TV to do all the things, right? And it is nice.
they finally had a good feature. I'm like, wow, this might actually be a net positive for humanity versus most of the other AI features I think are mostly net negatives. Um, it'll take closed captioning, which is encoded in the video, and it'll translate it on the fly. I'm
Nice.
like, oh yeah, like we solved translation 5 years ago. Like everything should be translating everything. It's
Oh, yeah.
you can get tiny neural networks to do translation darn well.
Well, I saw now, they have the photo frame TVs or whatever. They're basically supposed to be artwork on your wall, which is super
Oh
nice. And
Lord,
you can pay for really nice artwork to do this stuff. But
I have
now
opinions. Mhm.
they have on any of the Samsung TVs, it'll do AI generated artwork for you based on your themes and your likeness. So you give it a whole prompt and it'll go through and all this stuff. Well, it's pretty smart, because my favorite part of the Apple TV, I don't know how often you do this on your Apple TV. You can't really turn to Heather because she's not there. She, was married to me in the house, but I turn to Heather and I go, Heather, press down on the remote. Press down on the remote. What is that? Because I don't watch TV.
What is it?
We watch the 4K, right? Because when you press down on the artwork, like when all their flybys, the 4K cinematic
Always
is
Abu Dhabi. Mm-hmm.
It's Abu Dhabi, it's Iceland, it's Greenland, it's something like that. Like, press down. Where is? Oh my god! It's the same. Like, we've seen it. Like, James, we've seen this thing for the last 5 years over and over again. But yeah, it's like something crazy. And I was like, we're always debating: is that real, or has Apple been pulling AI craziness over our eyes for the last 10 years? I think it's real.
It's real only because we're not that great at video yet. Video has the attention span of roughly 3 to 4 seconds. If you've seen any of the AI generated video, it can't pull together an entire 30 seconds. It's just, we don't have enough memory yet. Funny segue to NVIDIA there. I want to say, okay, so those new TVs are kind of weird. Like they're calling them wireless TVs now, where they actually have a battery in them. And then you're just sending Wi-Fi signals to it, which is fine because I have a smart TV and mine's connected over Wi-Fi. So I've been doing IPTV forever now. So whatever. Like, yeah, why does the TV have cords? Just don't really want to charge my TV, I guess. Not the device for me, but it did make me think like, ooh, how many holes do I need to put in my wall to make my wireless TV, or at least make all the wires disappear? That would be kind of fun, because that was part of their art room. Samsung had like an art room where I think they were showing all that stuff off. No wires anywhere. It's so clean looking, they'd made it look like an art museum. I'm like, if only I had that level of taste. I'm just putting that out there since you're working on your desk. What about no wires?
That's the dream, man. And they already had done a really good job with these breakout boxes where basically you plug everything into this one breakout box. One wire goes to your TV, but you just got to deal with one wire. But yeah, now it's just wireless. It's like, yeah, we'll just beam it. Like, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, why do I have a giant TV?
So you can put a giant laptop battery in it too. So, I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how much power these things draw anymore, but whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
I want to do it
back to NVIDIA.
Okay. Segueing into NVIDIA, a weird use of AI. Have you seen like with the new video cards, they have AI frame interpolation. So the game engine is feeding frames at this video card at the normal amount, like frames per second. But the video card, through the magic of AI, is running models on it that bumps that to 60 frames per second, 120 frames per second. Now they're advertising 240 frames per second. Who has a monitor that runs at 240 frames
per second? Well, at CES, you'll see the new monitors from Dell and Samsung.
Right, which probably have their own AI features. God knows. But
it's AI. It's AI on AI on AI.
Yeah, like who knows what signal, like as programmers, what do we even have to send to the video card anymore? Can we just draw blocks and just let the AI do the rest? Like, just
you figure it out.
Imagine
NVIDIA.
a UI. here's a blue thing and a red thing, just
you
interpolate
you
it, buddy.
you no longer send it. You no longer send it rendered things. You just say, here's a block, create a wild goat in a beautiful outdoor
Yeah.
scene with a sun. And it's like 4 blocks. And it's like the most beautiful 8K
Honestly,
graphics.
pretty sure we could build that UI system in a few days right now. So yeah, we
I
could
love it.
totally be there.
That's
But
so
I
good.
just thought it was obnoxious them doing, because I guess that's like a 3x frame interpolation, time interpolation to get up to 240 hertz. But it's got to be predictive.
Yeah.
And like, that's just got to get weird. So I have zero interest in it. No, I take that back. I have 100% interest in seeing it. I have 0% interest in paying for the hardware I would need to see it. I don't need a 240 hertz monitor. I don't need a 4090. We'll talk about the 4090, but boy, I do kind of want to see it.
Yeah. No, I mean, what didn't they announce? I mean, I do appreciate that quite a lot of, I watched the supercuts, of course. That was my jam of it. I started watching. I did start watching like the intro of the keynote, and it was like this crazy inspirational music. And Heather was like, "What are you watching?" And it's like, and I was like, "It's an
The
NVIDIA
jacket,
keynote." And she's like, "What?" She's like, "What
the
has happened here?"
CEO's jacket. Can we just say he had the most obnoxious jacket? But good for
But
him. Good for
he
him.
owned it. Jensen Wong
He
was like,
did.
"When I'm in Vegas, I gotta wear the whatever."
Fine, buddy. He did it. I just realized I was I saying 4090s? Because I think we're up to 5090s now, right?
5090s, 5090s, the whole series,
5090s.
which is like
So can I
8
give my quick
4090s.
opinions? I'm
Yeah, go ahead.
disappointed.
Oh,
Because I'm rocking the 3090. I decided the
okay.
4090 wasn't a big enough upgrade, so I didn't bother. Oh, I should say, everyone, hi. I'm Frank. I'm not a gamer. I don't use this for gaming at all. I use this as a cheap AI card because the expensive AI cards are very expensive. So these are my cheap consumer grade AI cards. So that's what I look for in them. And the 4090 just wasn't worth the money, mainly because they didn't update the amount of memory in it. And 5 years ago, AI was all about the speed of your video cards or your GPUs, your processing units. These days, we're all about the memory. We just making gianter and gianter models, and that's what it's all about now. So they announced a 5090. Cool. It does have more memory. They went up from 24 gigabytes to 32 gigabytes of memory, and it's a faster memory. It's GDR7 or something like that. So definitely an upgrade, definitely better than the 4090 from my perspective, but still not worth upgrading to, especially not after spending $1 million on a Mac Mini that has twice that amount of memory. So and it's unified on the Mac, so I can do all this neural network stuff with my unified memory on the Mac. And so great NVIDIA. It's a beautiful card. I love that the 4090 really seems to be like two 4080s just glued together. If you look at all the specs, it's just basically double. I keep saying 40s, 5080, the next one
Yeah.
down, whatever. 50. God knows what. I can't keep up with these schemes.
The 50
It's like double.
the 5090 is 2 4080s. There you go. Actually,
Or two
it's a
5080s. I would even.
Oh, you think it's 2 5080s? Oh,
It's
yeah, I
pretty
guess so.
close. It's
That's pretty close.
close. If you look at like the at least compute counts, just not
Mm.
performance tests, but just core counts, things like that. And anyway, it's a beautiful card, but it's like $2,000, which means it's going to be so much more.
It's
So
this. I think it's the size of Jensen Wong himself.
what I'm
The card is
excited about,
enormous.
I think it's going to drive down the prices of the 3090s, which are amazing video cards. So I'm just
Ah,
going to pick me up a cheap 3090 and have 64 gigabytes of memory because they chain together. Yeah,
there you go. I was going to ask. Yeah. So, yeah,
that's my
that
review.
makes sense. That's a
As a
review. Yeah,
non-gamer.
no, I think the rest of it was really, really cool. I mean, they talked about a lot of different stuff and like what they're doing with the Blackwell and all this other stuff. So all cool. Sounds good. 5090, it's happening. Yeah. I
If
think
you're a
besides,
gamer, don't do it. That's
I
a
have I have
ridiculous amount of
I have
money.
nothing to plug it in. I can't plug it into anything. Now, does the Mac have the external GPUs? Is that still a thing or not really?
Yeah,
Right?
you can totally get a Thunderbolt enclosure that can, but then you are in the, and I've been here, you are in the terribly awkward territory of getting NVIDIA drivers running on a Mac.
Ah,
NVIDIA sometimes has drivers for the Mac. It's really their mood for that year of whether they bother to output them, because they're a pain in the butt to install because Apple and NVIDIA hate each other. Tim Cook, paper towel, or whatever. I don't know. Some CEO rivalry. Who knows what that's
interesting.
all about?
When you're the top companies, you gotta do the stuff. The thing I've been noticing this year, which I'm happy about, is a lot of Thunderbolt 5 accessories. I think that one of the cool things that I've been noticing this year as a trend is now that there's a standardization in USB-C. It's not 100%, right? It has to be USB-C in. It doesn't have to be USB-C out. But what I've noticed quite a lot of, especially for iPhone and Mac and other devices, is USB-C everywhere, but also a lot of new Thunderbolt 4 and 5 accessories, which excites me because we have a Mac Mini that's just sitting and waiting and doing stuff. And it does kind of make a lot of sense to me that we did upgrade the hard drive now, but we can't extend it in the future, because I do think 2 years from now, maybe, I mean, I don't know if I'll use my 2 terabytes, but if I do, I probably will. If I do, I will be able to probably get, at that point, 2 to 3 years from now, these Thunderbolt 5 devices that will be smaller, nicer. But there's a lot of new hubs coming out. There's a lot of innovation there, which is very exciting. And I'm also noticing that there's a lot of new USB-C and MagSafe accessories for the iPhone. Now, I don't actually have a MagSafe iPhone because I rock an iPhone 11.
Oh, man.
But there is a lot of small, tiny hard drives that are MagSafe that slap on. I'm also noticing another trend besides USB-C everywhere now that's ubiquitous, is I'm seeing a lot of Find My built in, because, Apple opened up Find My and have little tagger tracks. There are now backpacks with it built in, wallets with Find My built in. There is, the lighter outlet things in your car, the lighter outlets that turns into USB.
Yeah.
There's Find My in those because it's in your car, so you can find your car.
Oh man, you just hit 2 topics that I really wanted to talk about, because I find the MagSafe SSD drives for the iPhone ridiculous, but ridiculous in the greatest kind of way. Ridiculous in the, I have 3 giant glass cameras on my phone. I find it ridiculous in that way, but that's kind of, I wish I was a photographer and it mattered, because that seems kind of like it does help a lot. You don't have to worry. You can just record all the 4K, 8K video you want and just
ProRes, dude. ProRes.
Pressed video. Wonderful. Good for you. So those are hilarious. And honestly, I have to say, moving on from there, I did not know Apple had Find My compatible devices that weren't AirTag. When did that happen? This is a little bit new to me. And I love it because forever I have been wanting a Find My wallet, but I hate the AirTag's just far too big. So I never wanted to put the AirTag in it. But now I've been rocking a slim wallet for a while now, and they have exactly what I want. So this is, last week you were talking about, I wonder if they'll have anything consumers will want. I'm like, that wallet right there, I want that right now. Here's my money. Give me that wallet.
Yeah, I know that they opened up the protocol because I have Eufy branded trackers. That's what we have because they're cheaper. And they have, Eufy has one that's sort of it's kind of like a few credit cards stacked on top of each other, so you can put it in your passport wallet, for example. And those are part of Find My. They try to make it work with Find My and also Android, and it was a disaster, so they stopped supporting Android. I'm sure there's a new protocol for Android.
Sorry, Android.
But I don't know if they've recently upgraded the protocol or did another band, or they're just improvements in the hardware, because a lot of these new devices, like you're saying, are smaller and thinner and tinier than ever, which is great for these. Just build it into the thing, right? It's in my backpack. Some people may say, I don't want everything being tracked, all this stuff, but we track our
Okay.
dog. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We have an
Yeah.
AirTag on our dog, super popular. To do that, I put one in my suitcase. I just have permanent ones. It's like, you know what I would want? Instead of me putting a tracker in my suitcase is built in. It's in the
Yeah.
thing, right? It's just
Yeah.
always there, which would be cool. So I think we're going to see like a nice generation bump of that type of stuff happening. And that's what I feel like is happening right now. And I think it'll even get even better. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And I need to get better at it. I've had AirTags forever. I finally put new batteries in some of them too, so they're even still functioning. But I'm still not bright enough to think of new scenarios where I should use it. For example, I'm shipping a U-Haul pod right now across the country. And why in the world did I not throw an AirTag in that? Like
Should be
that's
it.
the
Yeah.
most obvious thing to throw an AirTag into. But just didn't occur to me. So I need to embrace the new tracking feature. And I did shrug when you said if you don't want to be tracked. I didn't mean to dismiss anyone's concerns, but it's like it is opt-in right now. And
Yeah.
the safety protocols seem pretty darn good. At least I know anytime someone has some kind of tracking around me, I get notified and all that kind of stuff. So I think at least those protocols seem to be working.
Yeah, and I like the idea that the thing is built into it because it's not like I'm taking this device and I'm putting it in something. It's like, no, my wallet is tracked, right? Like it's in
Yeah,
my
yeah.
wallet, it's in my backpack, you know what I mean? So it's almost better in a way, in my opinion. I don't know.
I am curious about charging. I'm notoriously bad at charging, and I always put my AirTags in the most difficult to get to places. So you hear it chirping, you're like, "I'm so sorry, AirTag. Keep going, buddy. Keep transmitting your little chirpy chirp."
You got this. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I think I was trying to find. I thought there were some other fun iPhone things, and I just have this terrible one. Not terrible. It was kind of fun, but SLR cameras, how they have the big right hand grip. Usually, they have a fun MagSafe attachment that turns your slim camera because it has three giant glass lenses on it into like an SLR handle. Which this is the most obvious thing to 3D print if you've ever had a 3D printer, but I just love that like people just want that grippiness, I guess, if you're going around taking a bunch of pictures.
I saw that. I definitely saw that. And I was like, that is ridiculous. That is not okay.
I do like that simple IoT devices are showing up again, but they're overcharging and overcomplicating them. One of my favorite IoT devices is just a button because you can program it to do whatever the heck you want it to do. So it's like having a wall switch, but a programmable wall switch. It's really nice, and you can just put a button anywhere. Those were really popular like 5 years ago, but like the market just kind of disappeared. But I think they're having a comeback. I don't know how they're going to get AI onto them. Once they figure out how to put AI onto these buttons, it'll be great. But one company did have a new button that they actually added like an accelerometer to, which is excessive. But it's fun to see this simple IoT because I think we will want more buttons. Like no, I don't want to go in an app and start a routine. That's terrible. I just want to have a button on the wall that I whack with my hand. It's a little bit easier. And when you don't
We
feel
do
like
have
speaking, obviously.
we do have buttons everywhere, and I'm noticing that a lot of these buttons, there's some new smart shades, there's new smart things, and I do feel, talking about IoT, that I'm noticing a lot more integrations with HomeKit, like just all up. I know HomeKit has been expanding quite a bit, but even those smart buttons that I saw, I did see that one where you can wave and do the lights and all that. It's all HomeKit compatible, and I do think that there's sort of this, maybe there's this renaissance happening in and around HomeKit and smart things and Google Home. I don't know,
Did
but
you
maybe these companies are talking.
did you see that one? It did HomeKit, it did Matter, and it did Echo Dingus family of devices, but it did not do Google. So Google's going to have to play a little bit of I don't know. I don't know what's holding Google back or like it's a little strange to see a company
Yeah.
support Apple of all things, but Apple did open up their protocol several years ago, so it did become easier to make HomeKit devices. I
Yeah.
wonder what's going on at Google.
I'm very fascinated too. Yeah, I don't know either. I'll be interested to see like how that evolves because I do think that when it started, it felt like everything was Samsung and everything was Google Home and like HomeKit. It's like if you're lucky, and I feel like we're seeing a turnaround there. I did see, I don't know if you saw it, talking about IoTifying things. Samsung announced the smart boat and yachts. They've integrated
Wait,
smart
what?
things so you can integrate your boat and your yacht to turn on your propellers, turn on the
Oh,
systems, warm
good.
things up, do health checks, do all this stuff. They've IoTified the boat.
Oh, that's super cool. I do
I guess.
sailboats, so I just don't trust the robot to sail the
There you
sailboat.
go.
But
Yeah.
maybe for a powerboat, that could work out. That's fun, I guess. I
I
thought you were
guess.
going to
I
bring
don't
up
know.
the car. There was a cool electric car that someone just like summoned like Kit from Knight Rider onto stage, and I'm like, that's cool. That'll never be legal, and thanks to import taxes, that'll never be affordable. So,
I
but we
think
are getting to the autonomous car world. At least they're being advertised at CES.
I didn't see as many this year. I did see that Sony had one. I felt like not as many companies had one or things going around. I'm not sure. I'm very
Okay.
fascinated to see what else we'll see this year and kind of coming into it. I'm a little bit disappointed that I haven't seen a lot of new game stuff. Maybe I'm just looking in the wrong places. I got to go into Kotaku, but I haven't seen a
Yeah.
lot of new stuff there. I've obviously there's always TVs, integration with AI and the smart frame stuff. I do think what I'm noticing this year is a lot more elegant design, I
Yeah.
think. In a lot of these devices, colors and design
Colors.
and rounded.
Did
It seems nice.
Did you see all the colors? Oh, we're finally getting out of the Johnny Ive world. Thank goodness.
Yes, more than white
I
and
loved
black.
all the colors. I want to do a lightning round because I just have little one-offs that I loved. This is just a couple days into CS. I love the weird stuff, like technology. I want to see dumb applications of electronics to things that
That's the
don't need them.
best. That's the
Yeah.
best.
So
Yeah.
number one in that category, new electronic rollerblades. They put a motor on the wheel and rollerblades.
No.
Like, obviously, you got to do this. But as a powered wheelie person, I don't like it because it's the hand control style. So it's not doing any advanced sensor stuff. You literally have a trigger in your hand that drives a motor attached to your heels. So good luck. It's gonna be fun. But I think that I think in the future, electronic rollerblades are the way to go, and that's just because I'm a '90s kid. I saw fanless cooling, so using probably way too much power and voltage, you can create an ionic flow of air. It it's terribly wasteful on energy, but technically air particles have a charge, and if you create a strong enough electromagnetic field, they will move along that electromagnetic field. I don't know how much power it takes. I'm not a specialist at this, but they were talking about fanless computer cooling by using ionic flow. And you know what?
Okay.
As a Star Trek person, I will take anything that says it has ionic flow in it.
I'm into
Just
it.
put
I'm into it. I love it.
James, as a printer company shill, how would you integrate AI into your printers?
Probably what you would do is figure out a way to integrate AI to scam people out of more printer ink somehow.
Well, they haven't figured that one out yet, but what you can do, and I think I might be the last person on the planet that prints things, but here I am. I'm shilling for HP. You still print. Okay, good. Have you ever tried to print a recipe from a recipe site? As you
Yes,
know, you get 1,000 pages, most of which are blank.
that's correct. Yes, it's like, yeah, terrible.
So literally there is the HP print AI service, which when you hit print, it's now going to upload it to an AI on a server. This is ridiculous. It's going to clean up all that print content and then send it to your printer. This is absurd on every level, but I still like it. And I just
Pretty
wanted
good.
to say right here, Safari has had a reader mode for like 10 years now. Why can't they just do it locally? Anyway, great job, HP, staying relevant and getting AI into your product. I can't wait to see how much a month they charge for that.
I like that. I saw that there was a lot of like planters, like smart planters and like cameras for planters inside and outside and grow kits as well. Like they have this new like
It's funny.
incubator. I don't know if you've seen this. It's
Yeah,
kind of like
I
a,
did.
a Keurig of plants for inside. I kind of love it. We seem to kill
I
all of
love
our
it.
plants anyway. So like I'm like how to AI-fy that.
You might as well let the AI kill the plant. The only thing I didn't get out of that was so that yeah, it's this like cute little sealed up planter, so I guess you can control the environment or something. And it showed a bunch of little Keurig pods that can grow plants, but then they showed one plant in it. So I'm like, okay, so like, do you murder that plant after 3 months and put a different Keurig into it? So I was a little confused on the implementation, but I am here for pod plants, so that's super cool. Uh, that's it. The rest are so trashy, dude. Did you see the Guitar Hero guitar?
I didn't see it. I saw some headline, but I didn't click into it. But apparently, it's making a comeback.
Well, they took the Guitar Hero guitar and actually turned it into a decent electric guitar. I'm even going to say it's a decent electric guitar, but it's still an electric guitar. I mean, sorry, let me rephrase. A digital synthesizer guitar, not electric guitar.
Gotcha.
But it's basically the Guitar Hero interface. So, like, good job. Like, there's a lot of people who grew up on that.
That's cool. Yeah, I did. We did. That was pretty cool. Yeah, and there's probably like a bajillion Guitar Hero guitars. They should upcycle them. That's what they should do because there's like a bajillion of them. Some Goodwill,
just sitting in people's basements. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, because everyone bought like 4. Like, oh, we're gonna jam out, and then we never did again. All right, well, let us know what you think. I know we're a few days in. It's been fun watching. CNET seems to have very good coverage. Obviously, I go to The Verge all the time and Engadget, all these places. I do love the recaps that are out there. Let us know if we missed something that's one of your favorites that we need to go and you're like, I'm going to buy this as soon as it comes out. Let us know. We're super interested. Maybe you have some awesome Android stuff, super iOS cool stuff, new monitors. I've been watching on Blue Sky. Damian Edwards been talking about monitors. I'm into monitors currently. I'm not going to buy a new monitor, but I do like that monitors and designs are evolving. Will say this last thing is Dell killed the XPS line. Did you see that? The XPS is gone.
No, I'm bad at keeping up with the lines, but okay, now that you said that, yeah, I didn't see. Okay, Roger.
It's gone. They're now calling it the Dell Pro and the Dell Pro Max.
Oh boy, Apple naming. Don't copy
Apple
the Apple naming. Just
they
pro tip: don't
Yeah.
copy the Apple naming.
They did it. You know what? The other thing, really quick too, and I want to dive deeper on this stuff personally, not for the pod necessarily, but I did see when we were talking about it before, is it does seem like with all these USB-C and the Thunderbolt stuff, there's some new cool applications for like NAS servers and things like that too. So I'm interested, that's a cool part. Like to me, I love the big whiz bang, keynotes and stuff, but it's actually getting down there. Like, what are these kind of like really small companies that make like one product? Like what are these like Belkin and what's Govee doing? And what are these, companies that are doing these cool, unique things? I'm like, oh yeah, like that'll solve a problem for me. Not for like mass everybody, but like, oh, that'd be cool. I could use that. You know what I mean? So that'd be pretty cool. So anyways, let us know what we missed. Write us in youtube.com/emergeconflict.fm. You can see our faces and stuff, and you can see some Legos that I built and whatnot, and other things. We can see some plans and some artwork and cool stuff behind Frank. So check us out there. Go Bregman the Pod, like, review, subscribe. That's it, Frank. That's going to do for this week's Emergent Conflict. So until next time, I'm James Montemagno.
And I'm Frank Kruger. Thanks for watching and listening.
Peace.